Hey, hey. Hi, Amara.
Hey, hey,
Hey.
Constance.
Hey, so it's your girl Constance Carter, and we are real talking live with my homie, my homegirl, Amara Omaregi. Did I say that right?
Close enough.
Oh, no, tell me how to pronounce it, 'cause I don't want to be messing up.
Amara Omaregi.
Amara Omaregi. Okay, I was almost right. And you
Almost.
guys know, almost. So you guys know what I do on my show is I want to bring in people that I've worked with, who've influenced my life in some way, who has helped me along the way. And I only bring my super friends on here because I want to make sure that you guys have the same resources and opportunities that I've paid hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars for. And Amara is somebody that I've actually invested with thousands of dollars. Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm not bringing you on here. I'm not bringing anybody on here that I have not had the pleasure of working with. And, since 2008, Amara Reps, which is her company, has partnered with businesses and entrepreneurs to provide outsourced CMO. CMO, that is your chief marketing officer. So outsource CMO, business development, and creative marketing services to brands, companies, startups, and enterprises alike. Building brands from the inside out with a holistic approach, providing strategic communications support to all areas of business, which sustains and supports consistent for companies of all shapes and sizes. Now, by just reading this girl's bio, you know she hella smart, right? She hella smart. She used word like strategic, enterprises, holistic approach, communication strategy. Like, yeah. So you know she hella smart. But that's why I like her. I like Amara because she is super smart, and she gets me. Like she gets me. Like she will study your business, and then she will feed back to you what your business looks like today and what it could look like, and also gives you metrics to back that up. And that's what I love about you, Amara. You are super smart. Now, I met Amara in the Lisa Nichols tribe. We were both a part of the Global Leadership Program, and that's where we have individuals from all over the world come together and just network. And we were in a training, and we got top level training from Lisa and Susie Carter, which is one of both of our coaches.
Hmm.
Susie's helped me up level my business, from 6 figure to 7 figure, on my way to 8 figure, pop my collar. But but listen, it's because of working with people like you, Amara. I everywhere I go and everything I do, I always try to find somebody who's going to change my life in one way or another. When I first started working with Amara about 3 years ago, the campaign, and it was just it was a one hitter quitter. And I was telling her recently, like, we should have kept on doing it, because within like this one campaign over a couple of days, we got like 600,000 impressions on one campaign, right?
Hmm.
And, like, I mean, it was just it was insane. Got a bunch of people to buy my products, and but I just wasn't really capable at that time. I wouldn't say capable. I just really didn't see the importance of continuing that. But now, today, actually, as of maybe a couple of years ago, I now see the importance of having the CMO on your team, the chief marketing officer, and how important it is to be able to uplevel your business. You have to be willing to invest in it, and marketing is probably the number one thing that you need to do. So, thank you for being on with me today, Amara. You're
Thank you
amazing.
for having me.
Hella smart. Hella smart. That's the way we say it in Cali. Where are you
No.
originally from? Like, what's your journey? How did you get from wherever you are? Because I don't know what your background story is, but how did you
Sure.
become this person that has this multi successful business that's helping all of these other multi successful businesses? Like, how did you get there? What was that like? What's your journey?
Well, where I was born in Illinois, somewhere South Illinois. Um, Raised in Kansas City, Missouri till I was about 10 and 11 years old, and moved to New York. Graduated high
In
school.
New York, like New York City, like New York.
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
upstate, Rochester.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
that's why the accent. You don't sound like you're from like the city. You sound like you're from like the Valley of Cali.
no, no. Yeah. Well, my accent's hard to place, but get me around family, then it's a whole other
Oh,
thing.
okay.
That's my professional, like, button it up swag.
Okay,
Right,
right
it's
on.
my button it up swag right now.
Yeah, we got a code switch for them, every now and then. We get in different places and different spaces, and we put on our
Right,
different accents. Yes, yes, yes.
right. You feel me?
Yeah. Oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. You got to pop your collar when you say you feel me. You know what I'm saying?
You feel me? Okay.
There we go.
That's what's up. No, but I'm from New York, and then I moved here when I was 18. I didn't have any money to my name, didn't know what I wanted to do.
Wait. So did your parents move here too, or you moved here by yourself?
I literally graduated high school, finished my dance program. The next day, I hustled my way onto a plane, took everything I could carry, and came to California.
Wow.
A couple $100 to my name. I'm 35 now. Looking back, it was probably not the smartest thing to do, but when you're 18 and stupid and don't know any different and you just want to live life on your own terms, you do things without thinking. So if I knew then what I knew now, right?
Wow. Yeah.
But I'm thankful, because if I would have thought twice about it, I probably wouldn't have moved, right? Yeah. And I tried to get into school. I got accepted into USC, actually. But I didn't know anything about finance. I didn't know anything about student loans, right? And so, you know how in the African American culture, we don't have that financial literacy, right? And so I really struggled. I tried to pay for it out of pocket. I knew how important school was, but I just couldn't figure it out. However, that worked towards my advantage, actually, because when in about 2004, I started working for Toyota in sales. So I was on the line selling cars when I was 19. So that's where I got my sales chops from. Okay. And then I worked for AAA and a couple other restaurants and things during the whole 2008 crisis. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And one day, I lived in Orange County at the time, in Irvine. Okay. And it's not a lot of us in Orange County. No. So
why you got that accent?
You feel me? Yeah, right. And
OC accent, guys.
Yeah, there it is. I'm in Long Beach now, so
okay.
My culture is coming back. No, I'm just joking. So yeah, I ended up. I just had an epiphany one day. I was trying to go get my hair done, but I had to drive all the way to Riverside, or LA, 2 hours out of my way to get my hair done. And this is 2005, 2006-ish. They didn't have Sephora, and there wasn't beauty bloggers online. There weren't people that could show you how to, do your hair real quick. And I'm like, there's got to be another way. So I wrote a business plan. I'm like, I can't be the only person. There's got to be people in the military. There's got to be women who travel a lot that had the same struggle that I did. I could not find a Black stylist in
Stop really quick.
Southern California. Yeah.
Stop really quick, because I love what you just said, girlfriend. You saw a need and you filled a need. That is so important. How many times, because I've done this, how many times have we seen something that there was a need for it, right? So I always tell the story, like when I used to hate calling my beautician to make an appointment. And I was like, yes. Only an online calendaring system. I could just do it online, right? This is before online. This is what we need. If I would have came out with that mug, I probably would be, I might get more money, right?
Be on that Bezos tip.
Yeah, it was a need that needed to be met, and nobody had did it. And it reminds me of my friend Chris Johnson, really quick, who did the ramen maker, right? And he said, when I heard him speak, he said, how many times have you had an idea, a brilliant idea that you knew could make a lot of money, but you never did anything with it, and then somebody else came out with it later on, and they made a ton of money, right? Because you just sat on that dream. And you just, you didn't have enough confidence in yourself, or you didn't have enough faith in yourself. There was something that prevented you from doing what it was that you were supposed to be doing. And then you met at somebody else because they went ahead and did what you're supposed to do. Because trust me, just because you have an idea, it doesn't mean that somebody else does it. And there's a saying, because there's a difference between an ideation person and an executor.
Absolutely.
Right? So I don't have the biggest ideas. I'm not that chick, but I am. I just hang around people like you.
Right.
Amara, that can give me the idea so that I can execute. Right. And there's a saying that the idea does not belong to he who thinks it, but he who executes it.
Absolutely.
So keep dreaming, but you got to execute on that thing. So I love that. Go ahead, finish up.
Yeah.
Girl, this is getting really juicy. I love it.
Yeah. So I didn't know the first thing about business plans or even how to start a business. I just knew I just couldn't deal with it anymore. So went online, found a business plan template, filled it in. And as I started to fill it in, I noticed there was so much I didn't know. So I just started Googling and researching and Googling. I went on to SCORE and tried to find a mentor. and they loved my business concept. And
wait, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
SCORE. A lot of people don't know about SCORE.
SCORE is, I don't know the official acronym, but it's basically the Council of Retired Executives. So one of the mentors in SCORE was the former senior VP of Nissan. And I got to hear him talk, and he really inspired me. And I had no idea what marketing was. They don't teach you about it in school. We're used to being marketed to from the time we can hear and speak, but we don't know. I didn't know what marketing was. And so that was the biggest hole in my business plan. The ideas were great. I had a lawyer. I had all these people that could help me, finance, all that stuff. The marketing completely. So I decided I'm going to go to school for marketing.
Okay. So really quick, because I want people to understand these resources are out there and they're available to people. So SCORE, you're going to have a SCORE, and probably every major city has a SCORE.
Every major city has a SCORE, yes.
And so if you have a business idea, you can go to SCORE. It's a nonprofit organization, and retired business executives, and they will help you start your business.
Yes, that is their commitment, is to help you. And you can talk to their accountants, you can talk to their, even if you currently have a business, they're a great resource. They have HR people, team building, leadership, they have all kinds of stuff. So if you're ever in a position, especially right now with COVID, if you cannot afford help, don't wait and don't say, oh, well, I'm just going to stay stuck here. Go to SCORE. SCORE is great. So yeah, I ended up going to school. I did University of Phoenix. People were hating on distance learning back then, but look at all of us now in this COVID environment. Y'all sitting here learning from your computer, huh?
Y'all on the late train. we ain't new to this. We true to this.
Right. So I went to University of Phoenix, had a great education at first, got my associates there. And then I went on to a school because they started having online schools that taught some of the marketing stuff. They were about 10 years behind because, you see, I got an internship. I was already working at an agency by my second year.
Or marketing agency?
They were an SEO agency at the time. They were doing
what's the SEO agency?
They were doing search engine optimization.
Oh, SEO.
Yes, SEO agency. They were doing search engine optimization and lead generation for doctors, specialized doctors. Back then, before doctors actually got on the internet and actually were able to be found, people who had very specific needs like sleep centers, needed plastic surgery, bariatrics, things like that. We would do lead gen so that people would have to try 5, 6, 8 hours to find a specialist for sleep apnea or reconstructive surgery, not necessarily cosmetic, specialized surgeries and things like that. So we would generate leads for them. So I was an intern for that. And then I ended up working at Sharky's, which is a large restaurant chain in Southern California.
When you were an intern, did you get paid?
Yes, I did. Okay. I also interned with a magazine that's no longer around, and I did that for free. I did a lot of studying online to try to learn digital marketing because school was so far behind. I dropped out of college because I just wasn't paying for it anymore because school was so far behind on what was really happening. Social media was becoming a thing. Yeah.
And with that, and I'm sorry for interrupting you. I was just talking to my daughter this morning. She's a marketing major, and she knows nothing about marketing and going into her senior year. Yeah. And I'm $120,000 in a hole, and she knows nothing about marketing. So she's going to have to get her marketing skills by going to YouTube University, GTS. I always say, Google that shit. Hashtag Google that shit in the comments box. Hashtag, if you are a Googler, put GTS in the comments box. Like for a lot of people, they think you need that post-secondary education. And I just want to say that I don't want to say it's a scam because all my kids gonna go, but I can afford it, right? But you don't need a post-secondary education to be successful. You don't. And the reason why my kids are going, I was very clear when I sent my daughter to college. I knew that unless she had some kind of specialized job where she was a doctor, a lawyer, something like that, she really didn't need it. But I was sending her there for the experience.
Yes.
I was very clear for the network. I was very clear. And guess what? Everything that I thought was absolutely the truth.
Especially in marketing. They can't keep up. It's the way school's designed. It's not, there's no way. The schools are just going to get further and further behind with marketing. And that's a whole other conversation and part of my purpose and what I do as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up, I actually volunteered, and this is good for your daughter as well. There's a magazine that had Common on the front cover, and I love Common. And Busta Rhymes was.
I seen him at the airport a couple of months ago in Chicago.
Ooh.
Okay. I started to follow him in the bathroom.
Oh, look at you.
I can find in public, in person too, but he's just a little shorter than I thought.
You know. And Busta Rhymes was on the cover. I was like, okay, I need to see what's going on with this magazine. So I emailed them and I said, hey, who do you like? Do you guys need help with any of your online stuff? I think I can help you. And so they were like, yeah, whatever you want to do. So they made me their online editor. They just gave me a title. And so I started running social media and I started putting all the things that I was learning from these YouTube videos in place. Because without the experience, it doesn't matter what you read in a book. It doesn't matter what you're told will work. Without the experience, without you putting your hot little hands on some results, you're never going to know deep down that you can do it. I always tell my clients that, or coaches or selling an online product, if you will, has someone achieved a success from your product? And if they say, no, I will not work with them. I won't work with them because it's like, A, you don't have a testimonial, and B, marketing can't fix a crappy product. I mean, for yourself, right?
I don't care what kind of marketing you do. If your product is crappy,
it ain't it.
It ain't that what you do.
It ain't it. And so, and there are some anomalies, those power balance bracelets. Remember those stupid power balance bracelets? But then there was also lawsuits that came with it. So there's that. But one of the things that when I ended up doing that, I created a lot of results. I was able to grow their email list. I was able to grow their following, and they were able to sell additional advertising, different types of advertising that they weren't able to because they were so used to print. They hadn't transitioned to digital yet.
As a result of messing with Amara.
Yeah, I did it for my reasons. I didn't need to get paid. I just needed a guinea pig. I needed someone that had traffic that I could put my hands on and do something.
That was your schooling, right?
Yes.
That was your school. Yeah.
That was I can do this, because once you can do it, no one can take that away from me. No one can tell me I'm a bad marketer because I've done it over and over and over again, right? And then I ended up working at an agency. We had over 500 clients, from Bally Total Fitness to Spectrum Athletic Clubs, which is a LA Equinox type brand that's no longer around. We had Too Faced Cosmetics. You see them in Sephora and Macy's. I did social media. I did enterprise social media for them before enterprise social media was even a thing. All kinds of stuff. I worked for Palm Wonderful. They have the largest. And
this is all interning for free?
I actually got paid. I was paid basically minimum wage.
Wait, how old are you, Amara?
I'm 35.
Okay, yeah, you still a baby.
So this is about 10 years ago. Working at agency. I managed over 50 clients, but I got a lot of great experience from it. Go ahead.
No, I just want to punctuate that, though, how important that is. And so you really grinded on coming up. Mm-hmm. And people just think that, like, my daughter's privileged. We'll just put that out there. If she's watching, don't say nothing, Kyle. But she is privileged. She thinks that she's supposed to not, just kind of start here. And no, you got to do the grunt work. You got to intern out there. You got to, prostitute yourself, essentially, so that you can get the experience that you need, so that you can be great at what it is that you do. Mm-hmm. And so that's the true way to really build your business, and figure out what works, figure out what doesn't, all the hardships that you had to go through. I'm sure you've had to go through some to get you to make sure that your company is successful today. So I'm glad that you're telling this your story, because there's a lesson in that.
Absolutely. And you can tell your daughter and anyone that's listening to this right now, I have 12 people on my team now, right? And growing. I'm hiring one more person, right? Like week, right? To help with our advertising initiatives that we're doing. And I tell you what, I have someone helping me go through all the applications. Like, how do you know which one's a good one? And I go, I just know, because a lot of folks come through here with college education, and college has sold you this. When you get out of college, you are owed a job. Mm-hmm. No one owes you nothing, because guess what? College hasn't prepared you for you to be of value to my company, for you to be of value to my clients. And so if you didn't do an internship when you were in college, you're behind, especially if you're going into marketing. I don't even hire experienced people. If you've got 10 years of experience and haven't produced any results, you're dead to me. Get out of I don't want you in my company. You got bad habits. You got all kinds of all kinds of junk. So marketing is just one of those.
To me.
Like, I got nothing for you.
I got nothing.
Nothing for you. Nothing.
Damn,
you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know what I mean? Like, we're not skating.
A 35-year-old talking about an old dog. Come on, man.
Hey. You go learn. You go come up with something, and then we'll talk.
Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to all the people who are viewing right now. I see Justin Burns. I see Dawn.
Hey, Justin.
You know Justin?
I know Justin.
Linda Clemens said SCORE is the largest network of volunteer experienced business mentors. They've helped more than 11 million small businesses since 1964. You can go to score.org. So Linda Clemens is going to be on here next month, and she's one of the dopest people I know. She's probably a SCORE mentor. That's probably why she knows.
Oh, okay.
I see Regina Gary, Fionn Ware, Janelle Crawford, Dee Bowden, Kayleen Newton, Tisa Thompson, Dr. Ranelli. Everybody trying to hear about your marketing, baby. Melanie Gamble, Delzinia, Tams, Charles Johnson, Asia Jackson. So many people are on here right now because they want you to put them up on game on marketing. So finish telling your story, boo.
Oh, okay. I'll make it quick. I worked with a lot of big companies.
She loves learning from you, Amara. Oh, by the way,
that?
Katrina Carter.
Oh,
a catalyst.
I remember Katrina. I remember when you guys met, actually. I think I was in the room.
You were in the room.
That was magic. That was magic. Yeah. That was great.
So like, hey. Well, I'll tell a little story. We were in there supposed to be working, and I was over there sleeping. and Katrina was on the screen. She was doing a Zoom call. Katrina was there. She said something about real estate, and Lisa said, "Hey, Constance did," and I was like, "Yeah, hey."
That's funny.
Anyway, go ahead, girlfriend.
Yeah, and the one thing I noticed is that we'd have a lot of these really great businesses come to our door and need help, and our bosses would not help them. If they didn't have a budget of $10,000 or more, they would say, "You know what? We can't. We're not doing it." And it made me sad because 80% of small businesses fail, and I personally think that without marketing, you're not going to go anywhere. I always use the wheel analogy, right? You have the middle of the wheel, that's your product, and then you have finance, you have HR, you have all these different aspects of your business. The marketing and your sales is where the rubber meets the road, because no one knows about your company, no one knows about your great idea, no one knows about your business. It's not going to go anywhere, right? It's just going to stay put. It's just going to be this really cool, fancy thing with all this cool stuff on it, but it's not going to go anywhere, right? One of my mentors I heard a story this past week about the George Foreman grill. Some nerd created the George Foreman grill years and years and years ago, and it never sold. They changed the name, threw George Foreman behind it. It's one of the hottest selling products in history. Yeah. Right. So, so you can have a great product, but without the proper marketing, proper branding, proper positioning, it could go nowhere. And so you think Facebook and MySpace were the first social networks out there? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They weren't.
Things you always wanted to know.
They weren't. Wow. Bulletin board systems. My dad's been on bulletin board systems since the early 90s. They used to use those at NASA and other things like that. So those aren't the first social networks to have ever, come to life. They're just the first popular ones that now dictate how we consume news and what we believe and all these other things. How we interact with our family and friends and staying connected. So that's how my whole journey started. I ended up working for these big agencies, and I hated the fact they wouldn't help small businesses. So I took it upon myself to create an agency where not only we can help small businesses grow and thrive, but also I wanted to create a place where creatives can grow and thrive, because we would get used and abused and tossed aside. When they were done with us, they just hire the next person. Right. So
let me ask you, Amara, what do you think was one of the biggest challenges with you starting your own business? What's been the biggest challenge for you?
The biggest challenge for me is, and just me being raw and candid, is wanting to help everybody. Well, that's been my biggest drive. It's also been the thing that's held me back so much, because of my way my personality is set up. I want to always help. I want to say, you know what, they don't have money now, but they will in a week. They will in a month, because I got the tools. But the reality is there's this thing, and I listen to a lot of what you say, Constance, in terms of wealth building. And I think it's finally like beating through my thick head that with more money and more wealth, you can actually help more people.
That's right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we look at, the Mother Teresa's of the world. We look at the, Martin Luther King's of the world and this whole like self-sacrifice. Like you constantly have to have this bleeding heart and self-sacrifice. But if you don't put your oxygen mask on, you're going to
can't help nobody else.
You're going to suffocate. Right.
Yeah,
and so I've really this last year and a half, I haven't been on social media a whole lot. I've been really grinding it out, focusing on me, focusing on how I can be bigger so I can create a bigger impact and do more for my clients. And it's actually working finally. Imagine that. You spend more time on yourself and it actually helps more people.
Yeah, I remember when we were in GLP together, and one of the things that I would always say, even when you were struggling, and I wouldn't say you were struggling in your business, I think you were struggling with your confidence.
I was.
Yeah, but I knew I could always detect brilliance. I could always detect genius. I'll tell you that. And remember, I said I touted it at GLP. I got on the mic.
She hunted me down.
Yeah, I got on the mic. I would get on the mic and I would be like, this girl is a beast. She just don't know she's a beast. I know brilliance. When I talk to brilliance, I know brilliance. And so you absolutely embodied what brilliance was. And I seen that. I just thought, it was really everything. It was the confidence. But I just think that, that comes with, age and things like that. You were really young. And I thought you were younger than you were. You were like 32 or something like that.
Yeah.
When we were
and I had to unlearn a lot too, though. I had to unlearn a lot on a personal level. I had to unlearn that making a lot of money was a bad thing.
Right.
We all have our wealth stories. We all have our money stories. I had to learn that if I don't make money, I can't feed people. I can't make payroll. I can't do all these things. So every moment of time that people who weren't paying me were wasting from me was taking away from my team being able to eat. So I had to put boundaries in place for myself to say, you know what, if I sit here messing around with you and whatever the heck you got going on, my team doesn't eat. So put up or shut up. Right. And it's sad because there are a lot of business owners I would like to help, but I'm not able to. And I had to recognize that as well. I can't help everybody. Who can I help? And I think that a lot of small business owners make that mistake in the beginning, trying to be everything to everyone. But I know that if you fit this profile, 90% of the time, 90% of the time, I can get you where you're going.
There you go.
I
believe that too, because you're a beast. You're brilliant.
I've helped so many companies go from $0 to millions in a very short period of time. People that you and I both know, I'm not gonna say names because I'm not gonna put their money on blast, but I'm just saying, like, I've helped people from the time that we've been in GLP who didn't even have a name for their company go from $0 to $1 million. Or right. And so, and that's just in 3 years, but it's like how do I sow that for myself? How do I create that for myself? How do I create that? So now we're on track. We're there now. We're good.
But no, what you're saying is very poignant, Amara, because I think so many people have that. So many people have that bleeding heart. So many people just want to help people, but they don't see where their value is, or there's some type of block for them to make them think that they are not worthy to have that success that's already innately within them, or that they deserve. They're trying to help everybody else. They trying to save everybody else, and they struggling. I know so many people who think that they're supposed to what's that thing that priests do? They swear to poverty, and you ain't got to be poor. I believe in an abundant God, and I believe that God owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. So if He has everything, that I have access to it. I don't have to make the commitment to be poor to be real. Right? I can help more people if I have more, and it's not even about me. And I don't feel guilty about that at all. It's like, how many people are you bringing along the way? Right. So I'm glad that you've gotten that in your mind, because you deserve to have a successful business. You deserve wealth. You're helping everybody else do it. You absolutely should have it for yourself. So I'm glad you got it. 1.5 years. I'm sure you out there making big money, boo.
Hey, I completely repositioned my business in the last few months.
Because the bid that she just gave me.
Hey, I know what it takes I know what it takes for me to get the best of the best on my team. I don't hire, I'm not knocking anyone that hires people from overseas, because I think that they do a great job wherever, if it's the Philippines, Vietnam, wherever you're hiring people. My team is all US and or Canada. I'm hiring the best of the best because I want my clients to have the best of the best. I want my clients to have that VIP concierge. I want to look in the whites of their eyes and know that they are doing what's best for my client.
I love it.
Yeah.
The whites of
Like,
the eyes.
They need to be doing what's best for my client, not just pulling levers like, hey, make this image, or hey, that's not grow. That's task work. We're strategists. We're money makers. We're people that are, here to make things happen. So that's kind of how we reposition. And, all these companies that I help make all these millions of dollars, I never got a piece of it. So I repositioned my CMO services to really truly be CMO services, where it's like,
and let's remind the people who just logged on what a CMO is again.
It's a chief marketing officer, and I will dive into it a little bit. The difference between a marketing person and a CMO is very distinct. Your marketing person is going to probably say, "Hey, build this funnel," or "Hey, do this ad." Right? Your CMO is in charge of growth. Period. Right? If you publicly traded companies, anyone in the C-suite gets paid based on the value of the stock or the value of their business, right? They're paid based on growth. That's why they lay a bunch of people off to maximize on profit so that the C-suite gets paid. They don't really take huge paychecks. They get paid based on the value of the company. So the value of the company has to grow in order for them to get paid.
I'm sorry. So for the people who don't know what a C-suite is, what is a C-suite?
Your CEOs, your CFOs, your CTOs, your chief financial officer, which is usually some sort of CPA or some sort of,
your chief marketing officer, your
accountant,
executive officer, your chief information officer, all your
technology,
CTO.
Yes.
So all your major people who make millions of dollars at the top of that pyramid, because all companies are pyramid. You have the top people who are making all the money, and then you have all the workers who are making the pennies. That's how it goes.
Yes. And so I just noticed that, whenever the feedback I get from my clients all the time is, you're more than just my marketing person. You're like the person I need to pick up the phone when I have a new business idea or when I need to take my business in a different direction. Like, I can't call my web designer and have this conversation with them. So about 5 years ago, I started, rebranding my business for outsourced CMO services. And now, as of this year, we're taking a chunk of the growth, because guess what? That's what CMOs get, a chunk of the growth. We don't win unless your company wins. So not only does it incentivize us to do a better job, right? Because we can't trade our time for dollars. We can't trade our time for dollars. That's not growth, right? So with the clients that we work with now, we set a baseline. When we increase by this much, this is how we get paid going forward, so that my team can get more education. My team can be like, they look at the numbers harder than I do now. They're like, oh, we need 3 more sales. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it. Yeah. Let's get it. Let's get this. Let's get this bonus. Let's get this client their money.
Let's
right.
Get so money.
Right. They're coming to the table with ideas. They're incentivized to help the client grow. And so it's not all on me. So it's been a big shift, but I'm grateful for it. And so I'm really looking forward to this new season.
Proud of you, girl.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Justin Burns. He said, "Hey, my 2 favorite ladies." Justin.
That's why Justin. I have to give a shout out to Justin. I haven't talked to him in a while. Justin is a really good friend of mine, and he helped me when I was in a really low place. So you can't do this entrepreneur shit alone. Sorry for cursing, but you can't do it alone. You really can't. Like, you gotta have those people that you can lean on and tell your truth to. Like, oh my God, I have people quitting left and right, or I have clients leaving me left and right, or I'm screwing up. Like, what am I doing wrong? Without fear of judgment, because it's real. Like, we all see the glitz and the glamour and the cars and the I look cute today and all this other stuff. But behind all of that, for all of us that are really running businesses, that are really paying people that don't deserve to be paid, or we're getting screwed over out of money, or something crazy happens, COVID happens, and now everything that we've worked hard for is swept out from underneath us, and we got to figure out how to reinvent ourselves. And we don't dare tell people that, because judgment. I got to have it all together. You gotta, if you're a business owner, you gotta have that tribe. And Justin, I want to thank you for being part of my tribe, because you, Constance, my girl Naomi, like a whole bunch.
Naomi, shout out to Naomi.
Naomi,
CFO in the house.
Marion, like,
what's up, Marion Brooks?
Yeah, like all y'all are just like, pulled me out of a place and made me realize who I am.
Yeah.
And that changes. There's seasons in business all the time. I lost all my friends, my old friends, because they didn't serve me anymore in this chapter, and I had to I had to have some new ones that served me. And
well, as you grow, your circle does tend to change. The people that, and it's not a diss to anybody, but You know, a lot of times they're not in the place where you're trying to go, and you just need to surround yourself around. You know, it's different. People that I thought were my lifetime friends are not in my life anymore, and it's unfortunate. But you know, as you grow, and don't feel bad about it. Don't get mad about it. It's life. Everybody goes through it, and I definitely understand.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like that swan you see, and I'm on the water, so it's a great analogy. We have these ducks and these swans and these geese out there, and they're just cascading on the water.
Mm-hmm.
But what's happening underneath? They trying to keep it all together. They trying to maintain
Yeah.
the whole thing, right? And
Yeah.
that's what entrepreneurship is. And we make
Yeah.
it look easy. You know, they know our glory. They see everything that we do, but they don't really
Mm-hmm.
understand our story and the struggles that we go through because there is insecurities. There's those sleepless nights. There's the things that, you know, we don't want the world to know that we have to go through. There's the embarrassment. There's the
Yes.
fear. You know, there's all the things that that you just do as an entrepreneur. But you if you stick to it and if you can push past
Yes.
those moments and not make those moments movements in your life,
Mm-hmm.
you are on your way to success, or you've reached the pinnacle of success. And really, I don't really believe that you could arrive to a place where you just have arrived. You know, there's always growth in everything.
Always. And you have to push yourself. If you see yourself in business, and COVID is very telling, right? I've been waiting for a really deep recession. I didn't want nobody to get sick now. I don't want nobody to get sick, but I've been waiting for this adjustment to happen in business because we were prospering and because, you know, everybody's making money and all this stuff was going on, you know, I think it was either Bill Gates or somebody said, you know, success is a terrible teacher because it makes the people who think they've arrived, they makes them feel like they can't do anything wrong and they got it all figured out, right? And so you just start to see it, especially since I'm in marketing. And so it's my job is to listen to what people are saying. And so it needed to be an adjustment because now you got to work smart, not harder. You got to, the people that have a foundation, the people that, you know, were financially able to hold it together for longer than 2 months are surviving, right? You know, everybody else that couldn't is closing their doors. And what's the first fundamentals that they teach you in high school? How to balance a checkbook. You mean these multi-million-dollar companies can't balance a checkbook? Hey, you know? And so
the key word of the day is shift, though. I want you guys to post that in the comments because we have to shift. We got to think different. The key word of today is shift or pivot.
Yes, pivot.
You have to learn how to pivot.
Every one of my clients pivoted.
Warren, Kathy Campos, Gina Gentry, Tamiko. Tamiko said, "How did you change your circle?"
My circle changed me. And I say that because I got around people that had the same goals and they had the same aspirations. And, you know, again, I read a lot, so I don't remember who said this, you know, your average, like who you are is the average of the 5 people you spend most time with or something like that. And so if you realize you're hanging out with low-level people where all they do is talk about people and talk about gossip and talk about, you know, where we go in the club and when we doing all this. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun, but that's all my friends want to talk about. They would straight up get mad at me because I didn't want to go out, you know, and hunt for men at the club on the weekend. Or I'm like, I got business, I got a client, I got a proposal I got to put out. I'm sorry, that is who you told us you're gonna go. Sorry, this is $10,000 on the line. This is gonna help me eat. I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't have that luxury. Sorry. I say that to my business friends, and they're like, "You go do that proposal. Don't come back here till you win that deal."
Get totally that money. Story. Get that money.
They're like, "Let's go."
Know what? Listen, what you said is so pointed because it reminded me of a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. Mm-hmm. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "Great minds discuss great ideas. Mm-hmm. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let me say that one more time. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. Great minds discuss ideas. Yes. Average minds discuss events, but small minds discuss people.
And let me just say this, because I think this is also important. Because they weren't in a space to see possibility the way I was, they were constantly telling me what I couldn't do. And so the more I fought back and the more that I knew that I could do it, it just created this clash. We no longer had anything in common, right? if Constance tell me, hey, that's kind of a weird idea, I might actually listen to her because, she's coming from a place of she cares about me and she understands business in a different way. So you have people who know nothing about what you're trying to accomplish, trying to tell me, what I can and can't do as a business owner. Why don't you just give up? It's so much work. You work 50, 60 hours a week. Why don't you just give up? It's stupid. It's like,
a lot of times that's people in your family.
Girl.
I say that one more time. A lot of times that's people in your family.
That's your spouse. That's your kids. That's whoever. And that's why that circle is so
that's
important.
Your mama. That's your aunties.
Yes. That's why you have to get yourself out of that environment.
They're putting their limitations on you.
Absolutely.
Just because you don't think you can do it don't mean I don't think I can. Right?
Exactly. And the minute you get those people around you, you have to either shut yourself off completely or just figure out a way to just say, okay, that's cool. I see that's where you're at. But you have to backfill that those people in your life with other people. Right. And you can't, and because I'm a people pleaser, I constantly want to prove them wrong. And that was a huge waste of energy for me. Right.
Girl,
it was a huge waste of energy.
Energy drain. For sure.
Oh my God. When we first met, that's where I was. Like, I have to constantly prove I can do this. And it's like, no, I just do it.
Like you were here. You were here with some of the best in the world, right? So we were in a training with the best of the world. It wasn't the best of California. It wasn't the best of the West Coast. It wasn't the best of the United States. There were people in our group from all over the world.
Yes. And that's why I say my circle changed me. Right? That circle changed me. It changed me because it's like, this is what my friends are supposed to look like. This is how our conversations are supposed to go. I have nothing to prove to them.
That part.
They're talking to me like I'm great. I don't have to prove that I'm already great.
Right. Absolutely. So I want to give a shout out to Ilona Rose, Nicole Nichols Robertson, Denise Edwards Hamilton, David Lascano, Valon Smith, Sunny Harley. You guys, make sure you guys are sharing this. And girl, Amara, you need to share this because you're dropping them bombs. You are dropping nuggets. Because this is so important. Like, so the marketing piece is important, absolutely. But the mindset, because we are our biggest barrier of success. Can I say that one more time? We are our biggest barrier of success. Our family can be that too. Our friends can be that too. And Tamiko said, how did you change your circle? You just got to get around other people. And sometimes that requires you investing in other things. That's why I'm so adamant. That's why I can't wait till this quarantine is up, because I need to get into the rooms of some people. These Zoom meetings are great, awesome, but there's nothing like getting in the room and getting around like-minded people. I invest in myself. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars so I can be in a room with people like you. Right. With people like all the people, people I've had on here, millionaires and billionaires. I'm investing in myself so that I can get around those people, because just like you, they're helping me in one way or another. They're pouring into me. They're giving me resources. I always think wherever I go, there's somebody here that's going to say something or do something that's going to change my life. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the person on stage doing the talking.
Absolutely.
It's the person that I bump into in the elevator or in the bathroom or out to lunch, and just setting that intention when you're in the room. That's how you change your circle.
Absolutely. You have to be aware. You got to be aware of it. They say law of attraction, when you know that you're ready for a new circle, you put it out there, I'm ready for a new circle, and you just be ready for it.
Yeah. Because they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
I'm right now, I bought this $55 program like a couple weeks ago on mergers and acquisitions. I was like, you know what? It said actually, no, it wasn't about that. It's about how to ethically profit in times of crisis. I was like, that's interesting. And it's by someone I respect. So I was like, I'll pay $55 for it. What the heck? Next thing you know, I'm in here doing mergers and acquisitions deals. I'm like, holy cow, who am I to even be able to do that? And I'm like, wow, this is my next to be doing mergers and acquisitions so that I can get to the goal that I put out there 10 years ago, right? To create the largest African-American owned agency in the United States, to be able to get into colleges and schools and show them how to properly educate people on marketing, to get education into inner city schools, to get computers and Adobe programs so that kids can learn how to take their artistic skills and turn it into a product that they can market later, how to make social media stuff and how to make business cards and things that businesses need and actually have a marketable skill. Because once they can do that,
they should be teaching in high school.
they should high school. I took my first web design class, right, in high school. Yeah. And those are the things, but they don't know what to do with it. And so it should be, learning marketing takes about as long as it does to get a doctorate. I'm not saying it's equally as important. I'm just saying you gotta have 7 to 10 years under your belt to really know what you're doing. And the only way to do that is not by listening to somebody speak and not to, buy thousands of dollars in programs. You got to actually do it. You got to actually make money for people. You got to drive traffic, figure out how to do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of my mission. And I can't do it sitting here working $80 an hour, $100 an hour for people. I got to get out there and acquire other agencies that are hurting and people who are struggling, especially right now, and partner with them so that we can create something bigger and accomplish the overall mission. So that's my next. Mergers and acquisitions.
On next. That's dope. She about to acquire all kind of businesses. She about to monopolize on the whole marketing agency game. I ain't mad at you.
I mean, why not? Because I've already helped so many businesses generate millions of dollars. Why not?
Why not? And I love that attitude. I love that fearless attitude. Like, why not? Who says I can't? Who says I don't have, it's not possible for me? It absolutely is. I'm a Black girl from upstate New York that lives in Long Beach, that was in OC, that had to struggle and scrap my way up, but I still can. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still possible for me. Why not?
Absolutely.
Love that. I want to shout out by Kima Mobley, Tanya Ashford Meeks is watching, Charmaine Bassett. Sunny said that Zoom has opened up a lot of possibilities that she would not have even considered otherwise. So that's dope. Zoom is great. Like I said, for me, getting in the room is paramount. Like, I need to be, face to face, elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder with some people so I can make some, strategic moves. Love Zoom, been doing them, but I need to be in the room. So let me ask you this, because I know we're running out of time. Tell me the 3 things that people really need to understand when they're trying to market their business, like the top 3 things that's so important when you're trying to market your business. What should people really know?
Know your customers.
Talk
know
about
your audience.
That.
Because I see so many people marketing their business on their personal Facebook page. And I think it's pretty funny because I'm like, you just marketing the same people over and over again. Your audience isn't growing. Like, Facebook personal pages have a cap, right? All these people trying to go viral and do all these things, and you're just going to waste a whole lot of energy. Like, who is your audience?
So you don't think showing a little bit of cleavage or a little bit of booty? No?
I mean, that's pop and sizzle. Pop and sizzle sells, right?
No thirst trap.
Hey, it all sells. It sells, but
kidding, y'all. Kidding.
It sells, but at the end of the day, if you have this thing that's
nobody want no likes. We want that to translate into monetize.
Right.
So the thirst trap is not monetizing. Know your audience.
Right. Know your audience and know where they're at, because that opens up a whole other opportunity. Because if you really and intently know your audience, because that's why I say CMOs, Forbes did an article years ago, the best CMOs make the best CEOs because they know who their audience is. So now if you walk into a room, right, with all these executives and you're like, you talk to a lawyer, and let's just say you deal with divorce attorney, right? And you're an accountant. So for all you accountants out there, listen up. I'm an accountant. And it's like, you know what? All my clients are getting divorces and they own businesses. It's like, great, I'm an accountant. I'll show you how to split all that mug up real quick. Partner with that accountant, get some new clients. So now you know who has your clients, right? You know who you can partner with and share deals with and things like that. So know who your clients are, know who your audience is, know who you can provide, who would give you a 5 out of 5 stars anytime and all the time, 90% of the time or whatever. So that it makes your marketing so much easier, because then you won't waste all this time on Facebook. You'll market to where your customers are already at.
So know your customer. That's number 1.
Yep.
Know your customer / audience.
Yeah. Number 2, I would say immediate gratification. Don't fall victim to it.
Okay. Tell us about that.
You have to have foundation. I always say that, if I wanted to build a fort, I could build it as quick. I could tear it down as easy as I built it. You gotta build a foundation for your brand and for your business, because things change, especially right now, and things shift so quickly. There's all this funnel talk out there. Build your funnel. I made $1 million on this funnel, but guess what? Let Google or Facebook change their advertising algorithm tomorrow. Guess what? If you don't own a list of people that you've been building that's super active and involved, and you've been nurturing and sharing great content with them, you're at the mercy of trying to figure out what's going on with this Facebook algorithm or this Google algorithm, you know, when things go wrong.
Funnels are funnels instant gratification?
They can be.
Okay.
For these companies that don't have any kind of foundation, I definitely think that they can be. I feel like if you don't have a place where people can go to figure out who you are and what you're doing, and if it's always just like, here's this ad and you can buy this offer and you can only buy it now within the next 3 days, right? If you're constantly shoving down the 72-hour nonsense to people, and it's like, well, who are you really? Why should people follow you? Why should people? So if I'm not ready right then and there, guess what? I'm never going to talk to that person again. You move on, right? You might get there people who are good right now, but is that really building a business that you don't have to keep reinventing every month when that offer is old? What foundation do you have?
That reminds me when I was when long time ago when I first got married. Warren and I first got married. So Warren is like, they will see that guy coming. Any salesperson can see that guy coming from a mile away, right? So all they got to do is put that little pressure. You got to get it today. You can't get it tomorrow. And you know, he's like, hey, we gotta, you know, and that's what they'll do. They'll put that pressure, and at least, you know, if you have one person that is that person that thinks that has FOMO. What's FOMO? Fear of missing out. That one person has FOMO, they're going to captivate them. And so it's really important just to be honest, just I guess people to find out who you are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that kind of goes into my third piece, I would say, is follow up. People will, if they don't get the sale within the first or second try, people give up. It takes 8 to 10 touches to get someone to convert.
That one more time. It takes 8 to 10 touches.
8 to 10 touches. 8 to 10 touches. And sometimes you have to say it different. Sometimes you have to come at it in a different angle. Sometimes it's just timing. Sometimes if you're not constantly sharing good information with your audience, when the Google calls it the 0 moment of truth. What is the moment when someone realizes that they have a problem? What is the moment someone realizes that they want to actually change something about what's going on? And then in that moment, where do they go to find the answer or find their options? And if you're not right in front of them when they decide that this is something that they want to get more information on. So if your website's not optimized, if they don't go searching on their Facebook pages, guys, they actually go to Google most of the time, or they'll ask a friend and say, hey, who do you know that does X, Y, and Z? So if you're not putting yourself out there, if you're constantly got this quick strike, instant gratification going on, it's like, oh, my friend had that deal, but that's long gone. Or you don't have that foundation. You're not known for anything. You're just known for that thing that you did. That's the thing that you pushed.
Everybody's trying to make $40,000 off of a one-time webinar, and everybody's trying to, So I get, and it's funny that you said that, because it's one of the things that I tell my agent is like, you have to be consistent with your marketing. Marketing is consistent. Because like, for example, one of our agents, she was saying how, and she was brand new, and she was saying how her kid's father had just sold his house, and he used some random agent. And I said, well, how did he pick that agent? She said, I don't know. Like at the time he was ready to sell, somebody had a postcard that was sitting on his table, right? Now, this person may have been sending postcards for months and months and months, but it just so happened at that very moment that he needed the services, and this was who was right in front of him. And that's it. Top of mind. Top of mind. So, yeah. That's so that follow-up piece is extremely important. So number one is what?
Know your audience.
Know your audience. So put that in the comments box. So top 3 things you need to know when you are marketing. I want you to put this in the comments box. Number 1, you need to know your audience. Number 2.
Instant gratification.
So no instant gratification. You can build that thing out. You got to build your foundation. Don't build a fort. Build a foundation. Right? All right.
These forts don't outlast COVID, I'm telling you.
Right. They get blown by the wind, right?
They get blown by the wind, man. I'm telling you.
And then number 3.
Number 3 was follow up.
Follow up and be consistent.
Follow up.
Know your audience. No instant gratification. And follow up, right?
Yes.
So these, Brandy said you dropping gems, dropping jewels. Sunny said you need to network until your neck hurt. I love that. Network until your neck hurt. Dalzinia said know your audience. Sunny said plant seeds all seasons so that you can reap your harvest in and out of season.
Yes.
One of the most important I don't say most important principles in the Bible, but it's a principle that I most certainly live by, because I believe there's a sowing season and there's a reaping season.
Yeah.
And when you're not reaping, when you're not receiving, one of the reasons why you're not receiving is because either you haven't sowed enough.
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. That's in the You haven't sowed enough, or you haven't sowed enough, or you're still in your sowing season. So there's a time that you have to continue sowing until you cultivate, and then you'll start to see a harvest. But so many people get right there to the goal, almost to the goal. The goal's right over here, and you come right here, and you say, you know what? I'm just gonna turn around and go that way because it didn't come enough. And all you had to do was just keep planting, because you were almost there. And people often fail right of the goal, or they stop short of goals. It's like that saying. I forget what book it was, but the guy who was digging for gold in 1849, he was right there, there, and the goal was right here, and he just turned around and gave up. Yeah. So many times we do that, but we have to remember there's a scripture that says, "Don't be weary in well doing, for in due season you will reap your harvest."
Absolutely.
You got to keep reaping or sowing so that you can start reaping.
Don't be afraid to share your gifts, because every conversation might not be a transaction right now, but the key to networking is make sure that everybody in the room knows what you do and who you help and how someone can benefit from what it is that you have to offer. And the only way you can do that is just by sharing gifts and sharing how you help people and actually helping people, answering questions and things like that, and sharing your gifts. And so many people are like, oh no, they need to pay me for that. Oh no, they need to pay me for that. It's not that easy. Like I can paint these walls.
With so many of those people.
I can paint my walls by myself, but I don't want to.
You gotta pay me.
Right. You help someone people will pay a fortune to get out of pain. A fortune. Look at that's why plastic surgery is so lucrative. People don't want to be seen as ugly. They want to be beautiful. They want to be whatever their version of beautiful is. That is pain for them. So guess what? Doctors can charge an arm and a leg for it. If Advil was $500 a bottle, people would pay for it because they don't want to be in pain. People will pay to get out of pain. So why not help someone get out of that immediate pain? Because guess what? It's going to come back if they don't fix it. Just because you gave them something to help them in that moment doesn't mean that you solved all their problems. I can't tell you how many thousands of dollars, millions of dollars of marketing advice I've given that I didn't get paid for. Now
comes back to you.
It always comes back. It's like, hey, you're the only one that can help me. You're the only one that's been able to help me. I hired this other marketing person and they couldn't even do anything. Your 5 seconds of support.
Because they don't understand the business. And that's one of the things that I can say about you, Amara. And I want you guys, like, if you guys need marketing, I want you guys to hit up. How can they contact you? Well, one of the things that Amara does, which I find it so satisfying, is the fact that she will research your business. And she did an audit on my business. She did an audit on my business and said, okay, here's the things that your missed opportunities. Here's the things that you're good at. Here's, she broke it all the way down. And so she really understood the business. So when she had a proposal for me, she knew exactly what it was that we needed. What were the missing links and how she could help bridge the gap. Mm-hmm. You need somebody. You don't need just somebody that say, I'm going to do some ads for you, and I'm going to put together some funnels for you, and I'm just going to make your business pop like that. You need somebody who's really going to study your business so that they can really help you on that level. And, hey, that's not necessarily cheap. That's not the cheap route. However, it's the best route.
You should, people always ask me what the marketing budget is. Free is great and free will get you places, but if you have an established business, you should be spending 10, 15, 20% of your gross revenue on marketing, because you know that it's going to help your business grow. When you're pricing your services or your products, build your marketing costs in there and take that off the top versus using 20% before saying, instead of taking 20% of what's left. Because even if you don't pay someone, you still need to amplify, right? Or else your business is always going to grow at the snail's pace.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So if you're scared money, don't make money.
Say that one more again.
Scared money do not make money.
That's right. Scared money don't make money. And so if you're thinking about like growing your business and you're looking at, oh, I need to get a small business loan and I need to do this and I need to do that, one of the things that you really need to think about investing in is your marketing. But one of the things that Amara said in the beginning is if you got a crappy product, she can market it to the hill. It ain't going to, I know it might do something for a little bit, but people are going to find out. More people are going to find out how crappy your product is. So you really don't want that either. You don't want that smoke either. So, make sure that your product is good and invest in that marketing. And you guys, make sure, how can they get in contact with you?
AmaraReps.com, AmaraReps.com. It's our website. We're redoing it, but it has a little chat window there, so you can hit me up. You can hit up my Instagram or my Facebook. Instagram is either CMO Amara or Amara Reps, or my Facebook. You can hit me up either one.
Hey, that was amazing. So I don't know if we have any questions for Amara, and if you don't have any questions, or if you can think of something later, or if you want to type in the comments box, I know Amara's going to be checking and seeing what the comments are a little bit later. You guys tag her, Amara Omaregi. The G is like a G, but Omaregi, Amara Omaregi. Follow her, friend her, follow her on Instagram. She's the truth, really. I'm not putting nobody on my platform that is not the truth. Trust and believe. Trust and believe it. She's amazing. So we're hitting at about an hour right now, and I just want to make sure that I respect your time. But thank you. You were absolutely amazing. And then shout out. I have my phone up there so I can kind of see, because through this platform I can't see who's like currently on. But Lena Mendoza, she's on. Shout out to her. I'm not sure who else. I see Brandy Cox. I see Nikki Connor. And I think, I can't see anybody else. But you guys make sure that you are sharing this information, because Mara just dropped some bombs. She dropped a lot of great knowledge. Don't keep this to yourself. Thank you, Tamiko. Don't keep this to yourself. Share this with the people that you love. Don't be a hater like those people are be hating on you. Show them how to share the information. All right. Take care and God bless. Hey, Rob.